The world of Demon Slayer is filled with monstrosities known as demons. Some are creepy, some are crawly, and some even resemble celebrities, like Muzan is equal to Michael Jackson. Putting these peaceful and lovely creatures in classes doesn't do justice to their varieties, but we are going to take a shot at it anyway. So here we go, the types of demons in Kimetsu no Yaiba, aka Demon Slayer. The first group of misfits we'll talk about are the rogues, and they mostly consist of 3 demons. These 3 set a benchmark for mental toughness and resolution, as they are a scarce bunch who aren't under the direct mental influence of Muzan. The first to counter Muzan's influence was Lady Tamayo, who, due to Muzan's life-threatening encounter with Yoriichi, was able to break free of his influence and vowed to end him one day. Since that day, she has devoted all her waking hours to finding a way to rid the world of Muzan. In her quest to destroy Muzan, Tamayo stumbled upon a sickly boy who was about to die from a disease. She gives him the choice of converting into a demon and he accepts it. Thus, the second rogue was born. Yushiro is a master of illusions with a blood demon art that could render other anime characters with invisibility powers down to a joke. He is a constant traveling companion of the former rogue, and his character traits include being extremely harsh towards Tanjiro and other slayers. The third character in the group of rogues is none other than the series' female lead, Nezuko-chan. Nezuko converted into a demon just like any other poor human, but with the constant efforts of Tanjiro and a bit of mercy from Giyu, she was able to gain some weak sense of actuality and lean towards protecting her human brother instead of eating him. This led the Demon Slayer court to exempt Tanjiro from some of the core rules and carry his demon sister with him. But these are just a small fry, aka cliche anime anti-villains. The real villains will arrive now. Muzan has infested the island of Japan with numerous demons, but there are some among them who stand above the rest, and these demons are given the special status of a moon with a number between 1 and 6 engraved on one of their eyes. They are the lower moon demons. Going in chronological order of the series, the first lower moon our protagonist encounters is Rui. Rui is designated the lower moon 5 position by Muzan and is a very powerful individual. He has a swarm of demons at his disposal with whom he plays a pretend family, but all of them are powerful enough to give low-level slayers a hard time. Rui utilizes blood demon art, mimicking a spider, and battles his opponents ruthlessly. Tanjiro and Nezuko decapitated Rui in the end, but only with the help of Giyu. After this, Muzan goes on a homicidal rampage and kills off most of the lower-ranking demons, namely Rakuro, Wakuraba, Kamanue, and Mukago, dismantling the lower ranks, which really struck a sad chord in our hearts, because all of us wanted to explore these demons and their abilities as well. However, Enmu, the lower-ranked one, was given a final opportunity to prove his usefulness. He led his human life as a sham doctor, fooling terminally ill patients into believing they were healed, but he was the one suffering from delusions instead. However, turning into a demon after his fateful encounter did little to change his personality, and he developed a blood demon art that harvested his victims' souls through their dreams. But like every other unhinged villain, he met his end at the hands of the core, and departed to the afterlife with tears in his eyes. Eliminating the lower moon seemed fulfilling for Muzan's ego, but proved to be detrimental to his long-term plans, as now the side of the Demon Slayers was able to focus more on the big fish, the upper moons. Going into the second season of the anime, everyone considered the last rank of the upper moons to be a bit more stronger than Enmu. But recalling Muzan's words that the upper ranks didn't change over a century, and witnessing Gyotaro land the first blow on the fastest Ashira sent a chill down the viewer's spines. The upper moon 6 comprised of a Big Brother Big Mac combo of Gyotaro and Daki. Daki could be considered the level of a lower moon demon, but Gyotaro's strength proved to be out of this world. Both of these demons shared a body due to their familial bond from their previous lives. The siblings spent most of their childhood in agonizing poverty. Their miserable lives ended with Daki being lynched and burned to death, while her brother carried her half-burnt body around the town only to find Doma and turn into a demon. However strong they might have been, these poor souls did whatever they could to survive, even resorting to killing and eating their own kind. Moving up the ladder, we reach towards the Upper Moon 5 Gyoko. At first glance in the Swordsmith Village arc, he appeared exactly like the sadist and unreasonable villains in most anime. But as the fight progressed and his story got revealed chapter by chapter, we understood the deeply rooted insecurity of the villain. Gyoko's blood demon art utilized the theme of sea and fishes, which could be linked back to his childhood. He lost his parents to a drowning incident and developed a mental illness as a coping mechanism. He started building monoliths of dead fish, which alienated him in the village. He ended up killing one of his bullies, stuffing him into a pickle jar, which led his parents to find and stab him, leaving him to die. However, fate made him cross paths with Muzan, and he reached where he was now, right under Muichiro's sword. The next demon sitting on rank 4 of the upper moons is Hantengu. Now, this was one strange fellow, as his first words in the series were, "Please forgive us," pushing everyone to believe that he couldn't be that strong with that timid of a personality. But when he battled Muichiro, Genya, Nezuko, and Tanjiro, the demon unleashed hell on earth. Theoretically speaking, the blood demon art of Hantengu was perfect against slayers, as decapitating decapitating his multiple bodies was almost an impossible feat, and even when you thought that you had decapitated all of his clones, there was always one cowering away in hiding, thus making him almost impossible to kill. And just like the others, his blood demon art is also credited to his personality as a human, where he went around murdering innocent people all around Japan, and blaming everyone but himself. However, Hantengu did meet his end under a sword, a fate endured by every demon. We're nearing the top 3, and the fandom really had a grudge against the third Kizuki on the list, right up until his backstory was revealed. Akaza was born to an ailing father who needed expensive medicine, which led him to pursue thievery, branding him as a thief with tattoos all over his body. He went on to meet his future master and his sickly daughter, who took him in. After years of service, when everything was finally going right in Akaza's life, his master and his daughter, whose hand was promised to him in marriage, were poisoned due to a dojo rivalry. This angered Akaza to such an extent that he battered everyone in the neighboring dojos to shreds, using nothing but his hands. The killings were so horrifying that it led Muzan to believe that a demon did it, pushing him to visit the place and end up recruiting Akaza. In his demon life, Akaza uses nothing but his fists to kill slayers and other strong opponents. However, he has made one vow that he never breaks, which is killing or eating a woman, the result of the leftover trauma from his human life. Moving on, number 2 on the list of Kizukis will definitely please women's eyes, but get too close and you'll end up becoming his snack. Doma is probably the only one who surrendered to Muzan and turned into a demon on his own, with no external influence, because he was a sociopath to begin with. He was unfazed after his mother killed his father on account of his cheating, and then met the same fate herself. Doma turned into a demon in his 20s, and since then, he has run his cult, claiming the lives of numerous women who have added to his strength and raised him onto the level of the second upper moon. However, there's still an enigma even greater than himself that sits atop every demon Muzan has ever created. Kokushibo, or the upper moon, is what you call the best of both worlds in the Demon Slayer universe. Kokushibo was the brother of the progenitor of all the breathing styles, Yoriichi, joined the Demon Slayer Corps after his brother, and tried to learn sun breathing. However, not being able to master it, and hence resorting to using a modified moon breathing technique, he grew more and more disdainful of his brother's strength, which seemed prodigal and unattainable. Finally, he gave in to his dark side and defected to the demons, which resulted in the creation of the strongest demon under Muzan.